Hello, good morning. Mahir, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good, good. All right, so we are right on time here. So we'll give it one more minute and I'll introduce you and we'll get started.
Sounds good.
And then I'm assuming you'll take over the screen share?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. All right, sounds good. Actually, maybe let's just give it a couple of minutes here since people are still just joining.
No problem.
Awesome. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I am super excited about today's webinar. I have to admit that I still use prospect search primarily. So Mihir is joining us today. He's going to talk to us about Collab and how to use that, how to interact with your clients, how to see their activity. And yeah, he's going to walk us through the whole thing. So Mihir, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. I will
Great.
take over the screen share so you can walk us through Collab.
Okay, sounds good. Starting my share now. Okay, here we go. And let me know when you can see my screen, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So before I actually go into how Collab works, I should probably explain what Collab is and what the benefits of Collab are. So if you're currently a real estate agent, you're most likely using the Stratus email search, prospect search system, basically. What that does is it sends an email to your client every day between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning of properties that were listed in the past 24 hours. So that means that basically your clients are already losing out on some time where if it's a competitive market, they've lost out on 24 hours where the property was listed and available on the market. So the day the listing comes out, it's called day 0. If your client wants to be notified right away, currently in Stratus, the only way for them to be notified right away is for you as the agent to be active every day, every hour, doing searches in that neighborhood and sending the listings through email to your client. There is no real-time alert system. Further to that, I'm sure a lot of Zillow agents have clients who they've set up prospect searches for, but they haven't spoken to in maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a month. Prospect searches are active for about 90 days. So basically, we don't have any feedback on if our clients are opening our emails, if they're still looking at what we're sending them, if they're wanting a change in the criteria of anything we're sending them. It's not that easy. They have to reply to the email or they have to call us and we have to take action on that. So currently, if you're using Stratus, it's a one-way street with you sending listings to your client and not receiving any feedback on if those listings are successful, if basically what you're sending them is even relevant to them at this point. That's where Collaborate comes in. So Collaborate is TREB's newer system of communicating back and forth between agents and their clients. So this is available to anyone on TREB. I'm not sure if other boards are offering this program as well, but if they are, please mention it in chat if you're from another board and you have access to this program. So this is the TREB homepage. As soon as you log in, Collaborate is one of the first links that you'll see here. So you guys should be familiar with this menu. This is where you go to Stratus. This is where you go to Web Forms. And now, hopefully, after this webinar, we will see a lot of you guys starting to use Collaborate. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of Collaborate, because I don't think I actually spoke about what the benefits were. I just went over what Stratus didn't do. Collaborate has a couple of features that are really, really awesome, which are read receipts for any emails sent, back and forth conversations between yourself and your client that can take in the form of easy reply emails or even a chat bot. So basically the TREB system has recently introduced a chat system where you and your clients can have a chat history as well within this system. So if there's previous properties you've sent, or if there are, let's say, some forms of some thread of communication that you can't quite remember, you can go back, click into chat, and see what that person has said. It also allows customization by your client. So when you set up the prospect match, let's call it for the sake of comfort, the client has the option to edit their criteria for what exactly they're looking for. And if you look at the Zolo CRM and you look at the stream section of the CRM, you'll find that clients, let's say, they'll tell you they're looking for one thing, but in reality, they'll be looking in other neighborhoods, they'll be looking in other price ranges, and they're going to be exploring all options. So if they're doing that anyway, you would rather they do it through something that shows you in the front end, so that you're on the same page as your clients. That being said, the type of client that you want to set up on Collaborate is different maybe than the type of client that you would be setting up for prospect matches with. On Collaborate, you want to set up your most active clients that you have established relationships with, and I'll explain why. There's a bit of a barrier to entry with Collaborate because every single person you send an invite to has to set up a username and a password to access this system. Not everyone is going to do that, especially if you were, let's say, just getting off the phone with a brand new client and you're saying, hey, look, I'm going to set up this Collaborate system for you. It may not always work out. If clients are not willing to commit to you as an agent, you may find that they may not be willing to create the account for Collaborate. So have some sort of established relationship with the client. I'm not counting out the fact that new clients will not use Collaborate. I have a couple of agents on my team who convert very high, who use Collaborate, who swear by Collaborate and say that, look, you know, basically any listing on MLS has a real estate agent. If you work with one real estate agent, you don't have to worry about the headache of keeping on sending your documents to different agents. Just send it to me, work through me to get the property that you want, and together we'll find the home that you like. It's a good way to sell Collaborate and yourself. And overall, Collaborate does a great job of always highlighting you as the agent that your client is working with, putting you as the forefront. So this is actually the Collaborate dashboard. Once again, if you're on the Treb homepage, just click on Collaborate and you will end up here. The first thing you want to do when you enter Collaborate is set up your profile. So at the very bottom, this is actually what the menu will look like. You'll probably just see some placeholder, but if you click on menu, you will see that your name should appear here. Click on your name. And I'm just going to move some windows here. Give me 1 second so I have a little bit of room. Perfect. So you'll see some pre-populated information here. Now, the information here may have been entered, let's say at your previous brokerage, or it may not be current. And for myself, I've left these things old so I can show you that, yeah, we need to change some stuff here. You can see my work phone numbers for some previous brokerage. So this needs to be changed. I'll change this to the Zolo phone number. And I don't want to receive faxes at all. So I'm going to remove that fax. But what you can also do is add cell phone numbers here. So if you have a mobile, you can add that one. So go through, you can add Facebook profiles. If you have some kind of business Facebook profile, that'd be great. I would try to avoid personal profiles here. For URLs, if you wanted to add Zolo or your Zolo profile page as an agent, that would be great as well. Don't forget to click Save Contact Information anytime you make an update. If you scroll down, you can also upload a photo. And why that's important is, as I showed before, every communication on Colab shows you as the agent. Okay. You can also do personal customizations. You can see here, they come up with a business card. Okay. If you scroll further down, you can actually customize the email templates that are sent to your clients every time you perform an invitation, an action. So let's say you invite a client. This is the email that's sent out. You can actually edit the template to make it more personalized or to change the wording because this is generic for every single client you work with. That also applies to welcome. So this is after they sign up. They will get this email that explains what the different features they have available are. These are when you send particular listings to your clients. You can edit them here. And let's take a look at signature here because this signature is also old. So you can go through and you can edit phone numbers, edit emails, and make sure that everything is correct. And that's what will be sent out to all of your clients. Okay, so that should be your first step when you're looking at using Collaborate. Next, let's look at the search listings function. Let's just get familiar with how Collaborate works for everyone. So I'm going to minimize this menu, make this smaller. So this is what the Collaborate menu looks like. It's a beautiful map-based search. You can narrow down your criteria on the left here in this menu. So you can go by sales or leases, break down by property types. And this is one of those newer features that TREB has included here, has an upcoming live stream open house. Based on what's happening with today's market, this may be something you may be interested in, or your clients may be interested in. They will also see this menu if they sign up for Colab. They can add their own search criteria and search menus, as I mentioned previously. You can narrow down by status of property, if that's something that you're looking for. If you're looking for an extended listing, someone who's looking for an opportunity in the market, that might be something you would be interested in as well. Let's take a look here. There's further breakdowns of property type, bedrooms, bathrooms, parking spaces. So it can become quite narrow in terms of your search field. This search section over here allows you to narrow down the actual search field, and it's really, really nice, really granular. You can go C02, I believe, and you will get a highlighted area of the Toronto C02 system. So there it is. And you can keep going like that. Let's say you want to add C01 as well. You can actually break down into different communities in C01 or C02 if you prefer. So you can get really nice and narrow with your search criteria. Because it's based on Google Maps and fairly new, you can actually, narrow down the criteria quite well. Of course, just like TREB Stratus Search, you can draw shapes if you need them. Oops. Yeah, there we go. There's your shape, like so. Custom shapes, squares, circles, whatever you like, are all available. When you do have your search criteria and you're happy with it, what you can do is hit save. Okay, that will actually save it for a specific client. One thing I didn't touch on here is a fairly new system. When you're working with Zolo clients, one of the things that you may get requests for the most is, I want to be in a specific school zone. That's a really important, let's say, criteria of narrowing down that we don't have access to anywhere else currently. I don't think any online brokerage is currently offering a dedicated way of geographically narrowing down a school zone. So you can see if I click on this school, Cottingham Junior Public School, it's actually narrowing down geographically within this square any homes that may be available. Okay, so that's a custom shape that they've already uploaded that narrows down the criteria for your clients as well. You can actually, I believe, do a search up here. So let me do a search for a school. Does that work? Nope, doesn't work. Okay, so let me change this to something like an area that I'm familiar with. Give me 1 second here. There's a lot of listings being loaded, so it may be a little bit slow. But let's grab a big school. So once we start going a little bit further north, you may see that the number of schools per area drops. That means that geographically the area should be bigger. So let's grab this one. And you can see all the homes in that neighborhood are narrowed down. Yorkview Public School, as you can see. It'll even tell you the elementary. You can break down by public or Catholic, and even by high school level. So I've specifically selected elementary, but most likely High schools are the ones that buyer clients are the ones are most concerned about when it comes to where they want their kids to go. So you can narrow it down by high school. Let's use this one that just loaded up. And you can see that entire area is a custom shape for that catchment or a school zone for this property. Okay, that's a cool feature. So like I mentioned, when you do have your criteria narrowed down, you can hit save. You can search name. So basically you can save the search and you can assign it to a client as well. I've already gone ahead and created a test renter, but I will go through the process of creating a client as well. So once you're comfortable with that, just hit, I'll just test search and I'll assign it to this client that I've made. And you just hit save search. I will go through the section where let's set up a new client basically. So in the menu, select client, select new, and you just select client again. And here you just enter their information. First name, last name, email address is some of the basic information that's required. You can go through and fill out the rest of it if you do have it. You can sort of use Collaborate as a second CRM to the Zolo CRM. It's a good way to stay organized. If for any reason you need to access the client's profile, adding the client's Zolo profile page under URL address would be a good idea. That way all the information stays, let's say, organized. Okay, so let's actually grab a Zolo client. Grab someone random. Logged into another agent's account, so give me 1 second. Okay, so let's look at this one. We'll look at Sharon Slack. I'm just going to grab the page for Sharon, and I'm going to go back to clients. Perfect. So we go Sharon Slack, and you can under URL just add the URL to the client name, client profile page, pardon me, and grab her email address, and you can throw that in there. Okay. So for the purposes of this demonstration, so I can show you how everything works, I'm actually going to use my Zolo email address. At the very bottom, I'm going to click Save and Invite Client. And then it will pop up with the email that will be sent to the client. If this is something you want to customize at this point with the client's name, for example, or with any specific email information that you may have on them, just click, just input that information, send invite, and now it will throw you back to this customization page where you can actually customize what the client sees after they log in, what they start the search with, if there's a news feed for any activity that they may have. Messages specifically relates to back and forth emails with the client. Chats, of course, is the chat system that I mentioned previously. We'll go over that. Documents, I'll go over documents as well. Documents is a good system because what we can do is we can share, let's say, a rental application with the client directly through Colab. So lists and searches are, of course, searches that we have assigned to the client. And then notifications. This section is important because this is where you control when you as the agent are notified of any action that the client has done. You want to make sure that you have the interval set appropriately. You don't want to be spammed by emails regarding what actions the client has taken. So as an agent, currently there's nothing like a push notification or some kind of app that we can use that lets us manage our client's profile. Everything is done through this web app. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things that I've mentioned there. Documents. I'm going to go over here into the menu under documents. You can see I've already uploaded a rental application here. There's a blank rental application. So any client that is a lease tenant that I want to send a rental application to, I can just click on this, click on share, click on share in Slack, and share. So now when I go back to clients, you will see that under documents, Sharon now has access to a blank rental application. She can download this and fill it out either on her computer or by pen and paper if she prefers. This is an editable rental application, and you can download this through web forms. If you just open up a rental application, click on the File menu and click on Save as Editable Document. Okay. We had some searches that we had set up, I believe, as a test search. So if we go to Saved, oh, why is that one not showing up? I thought I saved that one. Let me just double check. Your searches. Okay, it looks like for whatever reason that one didn't get saved, but I do have this search. So you can assign searches to clients. You can also sort of set up your preferences for what you would like the search to show every time it emails a client. So let's go back to clients. And under searches, nothing is assigned yet. So in search listings, you can use either a new search and assign it to a client, or you can use a saved search and assign it to a client. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to click on save. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to remember how this one works. So this is a lease. Here we go. Save for myself. Here we go. So when you hit save, you can actually assign it to a client. And this is really important. You have the option here of setting the email interval or setting the update interval for any time a client is notified of a new listing. So you have the option of saying daily and all the way down to real time. You want to be kind of careful about when you use real time. If your client is extremely motivated, if their timeline for finding a property is extremely small, that's when you would use real time. Otherwise, preference would be hourly, 6 hour, or 12 hour, somewhere in that region, because depending on the search criteria, they may get absolutely spammed by email from you on Colab. But just putting it out there, there is real-time options for when to notify clients. Okay, notify me is you as the agent when you need to be notified. I would choose daily, unless you're on the same page as your client where you need to be aware of all real-time listings as well. That might be good when, let's say your client is at work, they're not checking their email all the time. You can reach out to them and say, hey, look, this one just popped on the market. It's in your price range. It matches your criteria. Can I book a showing for it? And that way you can be an agent who shows the property on day zero, which is in today's market, a huge advantage. So I'm just going to go save search. Okay, so now that search has been assigned to this client under searches, you can see here. And you can also see viewed, not yet. So under newsfeed, again, you will see what actions you have taken. And you can see here the read receipt. Sharon Slack opened the message, has invited you to Colab. So of course, I didn't actually send it to Sharon Slack. I sent it to myself. So let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to switch to my desktop here, and I'll go to my mail. And you can see in my Zolo email address, you can see Mihir Sonara has invited you to Colab. This is what your client will see as well. It'll say their name, you're invited to Colab, and complete registration and sign in. And then it'll also give them the option of downloading the Colab app. So Colab has apps for both Android and iPhone, which is great in my opinion, but you can also, as a client, use the Colab web app. So there's no reason for you to use the native app if you don't want to. Or let's say you're using a computer and you don't have a phone, the web app is great. So like I mentioned before, your client is going to have to sign in. They're going to have to create a password. So I'm just going to use some random password here. And they can edit their own details here. So the best thing about Colab is on top of putting your name in front of all the information, it also lets the client do self-serve stuff. So here you go. This is what the client sees when they first log in. They see your card with your information, and they see their news feed as to what you have been doing for them. Okay. Further to that, I just got the next email in this series where it says, Mihir Sonar, thanks you for joining Colab. So the system is really, really good at following up. The email speed is really quick as well. That was almost instantaneous from when we signed up to when I received the email. And you can explore that same, you can expect that same level of speed when it comes to getting the listings. So you can see I have set up the Richmond Hill lease condos for this client. If I go to search listings, I should see under saved. It's not there. Okay. Anyway, I'll try to figure out where that Richmond Hill saved search is. But whenever a listing matches that criteria, the client will receive an email, and then they'll be launched into that that saved search for them. So here, once again, your client can go through and set up their own searches if they like. They will always see your name here. Oops, what happened there? They can chat with you if they like. So this is what the chat menu looks like. Direct chat with yourself as the agent. So I can go, hello, thanks for setting up the search for me. And this is me messaging myself as the client. This is what it will look like on the client side. And let's go back to the browser. And you can see me as the agent, I've received one chat here. And that's what it looks like. So this is the back and forth between myself and my client, and I can respond and say, hey, no problem. Oops, this may actually be logged in as Sharon Slack again. Let me just see here. Yeah, it is. So because I logged in as Sharon, it actually logged me out as myself. But you guys get the idea. The overall concept is pretty much the same. These are, of course, a list of emails that have been sent to you under messages. And then under documents, the rental application that was shared to me by my agent. And what I can do is download it right there. So all the information that you need to provide to your clients can be provided through Colab. I'm actually going to log out as Sharon and go back to myself. So let me close some windows here. I'm just going to click on Colab.
So Mihir, while you're logging in there, we do have a couple of questions coming in. First of all, we have somewhat of a concern. So do you think that giving control to how the client picks the listings will give them control over everything? And then why do they need us?
Nope, they still need you to book showings. They still need you for market analysis. There's a huge scope of why clients need realtors beyond just the search aspect of it. And just, you have to think of everything as game theory when it comes to this business. If they're not using your solution for searching, they're using another one. They're going online to Zillow or Realtor.ca or some other competitor using their product. And that's potentially a reason where you would lose the client. Providing them with information is our jobs as agents. You should not withhold any information at any point regarding anything. Provide them with everything up front. The benefit of Collaborate is the information is provided to the client and your face is provided as the face that's providing the information. So you're always there as the source of information. That's the benefit of Collaborate.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. And then also a couple of questions coming in just about that school feature, if you wouldn't mind showing that again and where that tab is.
Yeah, sure. So if this thing logs in, I can definitely show you. Not sure what's going on. I'm going to try to close this. I may have to log in again to TREB. There we go. This time it loaded.
Awesome.
So going back, this is me logged in as an agent. And you can see in the news feed what's going on with the client. So Sharon opened the message. She confirmed his or her account. And she opened the message, "Thank you for joining Collab." So this is what I was talking about when it comes to read receipts. We did not have this information about emails when it came to the Stratus system at all. It wasn't even an option with a third-party signature or something like that to monitor your client's activity. And to have all this stuff here is really, really good intel as to, is the client still enjoying what I'm sending them? Are they opening what I'm sending them? Is what I'm sending them relevant? So the question was about the search function. If you go to search listings, and in the map menu, just wait for it to load up. There should be a school feature somewhere right here. Not sure why it's not. Oh, you know what? I think it is because I may have the criteria set too small. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why this isn't showing up, but the school button is usually right there. Let's zoom into an area and see if it shows up. There it is. So we just have to get in a little bit closer, and you can see the school button here. This helps you narrow down what schools you see. So if you want to choose all of them will pop up. But depending on what you're specifically setting a search criteria for a client, let's click on this one. So you can see the catchment for the school has been auto-populated as a custom shape. You can see the board, the grade levels, the address, the name of the school over here. And what you can do is once you have this clicked, you should be able to only see properties within that custom shape when you hit save. Okay, so it's showing 58 listings. You can narrow it down further as freehold. Of course, in Richmond Hill, everything in this area should be freehold, but let's say you're looking for a bigger property and the style is only detached that you're looking for, it will start narrowing it down quite a lot. So it looks like there's nothing for sale in that particular criteria right now. But I hope that helps. I hope that answers the question. Just have to zoom in a little bit further if you don't see it. And if you're not seeing a specific type of, let's say you're looking for Catholic schools and you're not seeing them, click on the schools menu and make sure Catholic is selected. Were there any other questions, Jane?
Great. Yeah, we have another one coming in here. So does Collab only work for Stratus listings or does it work for all boards?
That's a good question. Because Collab is only offered by TREB, the system only shows listings that are listed on the Toronto Real Estate Board. No other boards are included in this. And yes, you will see some properties that are out there in like Niagara, Hamilton. When I was researching Collab, this is what I noticed as well. And just wait for this to load in and you'll see what I mean. Oh, I may have my criteria set too tight here. There we go. What happens when you have these properties showing up is most likely these are cross-listed properties, meaning they are listed in their local board, Kitchener-Waterloo, for example, and also TREB. So there is some kind of restriction on what or which properties are listed on Collaborate, but for the vast majority of Zolo agents who are working in the GTA, who are part of the TREB system. This is a hugely beneficial system. Other boards have very different tools that put TREB to shame, to be perfectly honest with you. So if you are an agent in Kitchener-Waterloo, reach out to your board and see what tools are available to you regarding if Collab or a similar system is something that they offer. Okay.
Excellent, thanks, Mihir. And also, just to clarify, what would you recommend? Would you recommend entering the client's information first and then setting up a search that you can assign to that client? Or would you do it the other way around?
Yeah, that's definitely the workflow that you want. First, set up the client and then set up the workflow. But I think from what I've shown, there is no wrong way to do it. Let's say that you have saved searches like I had here, Richmond Hill lease condos. You could go through and select a whole bunch of saved searches. And then as you add clients to Collaborate, meaning as Zillow assigns you more clients and you have more active clients in your pipeline, you can add your clients and then add the searches to those new clients as well. So it works both ways. There really isn't a wrong way to do it. And as you scale up in your business, so Collaborate is specifically capped at 150 active clients. If you reach that number, I mean, you're going to be doing huge business. So you may be exploring further tools, but until you get to that number, Collab is the best way to work with TREB listings currently. Yes. Excellent. Are there any other concerns there about Collab?
Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to chat with us. I think I received a message saying that the chat was off, but you can message me privately and I will ask Mihir. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions. Otherwise, yeah, that was a really good detailed overview. Thanks, Mihir, for that. As I mentioned at the beginning, I still use Prospect Search. So this is great for those clients that you do have a relationship with that are willing to take the extra step and set up a username and password and then absolutely interact with you while they're searching for properties. So it's a great tool. Thank you, Mihir.
No problem, my pleasure.
Yeah, can we get the recorded one? Yes, absolutely. We always, or most of the time, I would say, we do upload them either to the workplace group or to the YouTube channel. So we'll have that up later today. And then we have a question here. If a client has not signed BRA.
Yeah, that's a good question. There is, let's say, no requirement for a client to sign a BRA for us to set them up on Collaborate. The way the market is right now, it's going to be hard to get a lot of agent or clients signed on a BRA just because of how competitive things are. It's totally okay to have a client set up on Collaborate and to monitor your news feed for that specific client. So let's say for Sharon Slack, if I don't have a BRA signed with her and she's consistently opening my messages, I'm going to go out of my way to gather this intel and then to reach out to Sharon directly through phone calls, through text messages, and just say, hey, look, I saw you open my email. There's some great properties for lease in Richmond Hill, let's say. Would you like to go out and book a showing for any properties that you did see? And wait for a response and keep following up with the clients, even if there isn't a response from their end. They are just waiting for the right property. That's their motivation. They don't have any other motivation to really respond to your messages until they see something you like. So don't get discouraged. Don't be insulted. The clients are just, that's the way they are. And that's the way that we are sometimes too. You think about yourself when you're shopping for a car or something. How many listings have you made inquiries on AutoTrader that you haven't replied to emails about? Something along those lines.
Yeah, so true. Well, thank you, Mihir. If there aren't any other questions, I don't want to keep you guys much longer, but yeah, no, that was great. So thanks again, Mihir, for joining me and walking us through the Collab system.
No problem, my pleasure.
All right, thanks guys. Have a great day and we'll see you on the next webinar.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.